Hallelujah! 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 Hallelujah!
Shabbat Shalom L'Kol.
Shabbat Shalom Lecha.
Blessed be the name of the power of this universe. The one responsible for each and every one of our existence. Let us face the east and give thanks to Yah, and even acknowledge Him, asking and praying that the Creator, Maker of heaven and earth, would watch over us this day. May He grant us His protection. May He remember the families that are traveling to this place and places such as this. May He grant them safe travels. May He continue to watch over us and even extend His mercy towards us as we gather to praise and glorify His name this day. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah!
Kuma Yehovah, Wayafusu Oiveka, Wayanusu Mistaneka Mipaneka. Kuma Yehovah, Wayafusu Oiveka, Wayanusu Mistaneka Mipaneka. Kuma Yehovah, Wayafusu Oiveka, Wayanusu Mistaneka Mipaneka. And it translates, rise up, O Yah, and let thine enemies be scattered, and let them that hate thee flee before thee. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Baruch Yehovah Babokwer, Baruch Yehovah Betzoharaim, Baruch Yehovah Be'erev, Baruch Yehovah Belayla, Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom, Ubaruch Yehovah Tamid, Yehovah Eloheinu B'Bakushah, L'Zohak Lanu L'Kol Devarim Ra'im She'asinu Lefanecha Yom Yom, V'lehiot Imanu Kol Hayom Hazeh, L'ma'an Shemka Yehovah, Elohei Avraham, Yitzchak, Yisrael, Elohei Avotenu Ve'eli, Lishmoa Bekolina, Im Tereseotka, L'ma'an Shemka Yehovah. And it translates in English, blessed be Yah in the morning, blessed be Yah in the afternoon, blessed be Yah in the evening, and blessed be Yah in the night. Blessed be Yah every day, and blessed be Yah always. Yah our power, please forgive us for all evil things we have done. Be with us all this day for thy name's sake, O Yah. Power of Abraham, power of Yitzchak, power of Yisrael, our power, power of our fathers, hearken unto my voice, I pray thee, if it pleaseth thee for thy name's sake. Hallelujah! 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 Yochai! 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 Selah. It is a beautiful thing to be able to speak in our language, the Hebrew language again. For years, the Creator, Maker of heaven and earth, stripped our language from us. Today, we now know our language. We're able to speak in Hebrew and even sing songs to bless and praise the name of Yah in our Hebrew language. Let us sing the song Zayat HaShabbat, found on page 3 in our Sidrah. This is the Shabbat day, and we are happy to be here to praise and glorify the name of Yah. The song Zayat HaShabbat on page 3 in our Sidrah. Zayat HaShabbat, Sameach Ani, Zayat HaShabbat, Sameach Ani, Zayat HaShabbat, Sameach Ani, Ani Ohev Hayom Shel Hashem. Zayat Hayom Hatov, Sameach Ani, Zayat Hayom Hatov, Sameach Ani, Zayat Hayom Hatov, Sameach Ani, Ani Ohev Oh, Yah, our power. Power of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, Israel. We bow our heads to thank you, O Father. You have commanded that we rest 6 days. And on the 7th day, we, great King, rest this day. We work 6 days and rest on the 7th day to praise and glorify your name, to acknowledge you, to thank you, Father, for this opportunity to be alive, O Most High. 6 days we are out there working and providing for our family and loved ones. And you are there, great King, protecting us. You are there watching over us. You are there providing us with food to eat and homes to live in. You are there shielding us. And here we stand today on the 7th day of the week as you commanded, having a holy convocation. Giving thanks to you for good health and strength. Giving thanks to you for the peace that you've granted us throughout our lives. Giving thanks to you, Almighty Yah, for giving us once again knowledge of self. Knowledge of you, our creator. Knowledge of our language, when for years we knew not who we were, that we are the nation of Israel. We're able to sing songs in our language. Zayet HaShabbat Sameach Ani. This is the Shabbat day and we are happy to be here. Ani Ohev Hayom Shel Hashem. We love, great King, the day of your name. We are thankful and love to be here to call upon your name and shout praises in our language and sing songs to thank you, O Father, for our very existence. Almighty Yah, you it is that allow us to travel along these dangerous streets, highways and byways, time and time again, going to and fro, traveling from country to country. You allow great King Nephi and Micaiah to travel from Guyana and be here safely with us. You've taken us safely through this holy season and brought us, great King, to the 6th day of the Feast of Tabernacles, Almighty Yah. We've been able to dwell in booths. We've been able to gather throughout the week as a family, enjoying one another's company in this feast season, this festive season, great King. All thanks to you, Almighty Yah. Great King, we thank you, O Father, for once again allowing us to know your name, Yehovah. We are able to say the name Yehovah, meaning eternal. You are an eternal power, great King. We have families and brothers who are now coming into knowledge of self, searching for truth. We ask that you would open their minds and give our people understanding. That you would help us, oh Father, to understand your laws, statutes, and your commandments when we read in our law. That you would help us, Father, to understand, great King, the way we ought to live and treat one another as brothers and sisters, Almighty Yah, in love, in unity, in peace, great King, that you would, great King, continue to watch over us when we go to and fro in this earth, that you would watch over those that have traveled, great King, on journeys such as Eliel and many others, that you would, great King, protect the families, oh Yah, throughout the Caribbean islands, those in the Holy Land, oh Father Yah, on this day, those, great King, throughout the continent of Africa and in every nook and cranny whithersoever you would have us scattered in this earth. We pray that you would hear our prayers. Those families that are in their homes at this time who may not have been able to come out for whatever reason, hear and answer their private prayers as they call upon your name. Our brothers and sisters who are still out there calling upon false deities who have not the knowledge of self, we ask that you would awaken them and lead them to you and towards praising your name, Almighty Yah. We are in this earth searching for truth. So many families, so many individuals, so many, great King, brothers and sisters out there who know not themselves, but yet are searching. We pray that you would help us to find our way, our path, in that direction, Almighty Yah. We turn to you, great King. You are awesome. You are merciful. You are compassionate. You are abundant in mercies and great. And there is none like unto thee, O Yah, our King, our Creator, our power. We give all thanks, all praises, all glory, all honor to you, our rock and our redeemer, now and forevermore. Hallelujah! 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 Rakai! 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 Sila. Shema. Oh Shema Israel, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu. Oh Shema Israel, Yahovah Eloheinu, Eloheinu Yahovah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Giving thanks to the power of this universe. What you hear is no hocus pocus. We're here singing in our language, the Hebrew language. We're here blessing the name of Yah, our Creator, Yehovah, which means eternal. And we're singing songs such as Shema Yisrael, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad. It translates, "Hear, O Yisrael, Yah, our power is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malkuto Le'olam Wa'ed. Blessed be the glorious name of his kingdom forever and ever." Sometimes it is important that we go over these things and translate them, not just for those that are new in our midst, but even for ourselves, so that we can understand the energy behind this. And it's not just about saying the words, but it's about knowing the power that we serve and the Creator who controls this universe, who's responsible for each and every one of our lives. We sang, "Ein Elohei Kimo Yahoah, Melech HaGadol Olam, O Serak Devarim Niflim, O Yomer Kol Yisrael Amen. Yomer Kol Yisrael Amen." And these words are in nothing simple. And it translates, we had it up here even on the board for our newcomers, those that are here. And this is a power that we serve that's awesome, because in singing these songs and in translating them, we know that the power that we serve is not a dead power. He's a living Creator. He's the one that's breathed the breath of life in you and I. He's the one that allows you to rise every morning when you open your eyes and you inhale. That's the same breath of life that we're breathing. That's the same living power that we serve. This is the same Creator that we're praising, the same name that we're calling on. And this is the same power in prayer when we utter these words on page 4. This is the same name that we are blessing. The name of Yah, our Creator, our Maker. And so we don't want you to be here just muttering the words or singing these songs like we do time and time again as repetition. But sometimes we have to think and understand and know that this power that we're praying to, this power that we're singing these songs to, is alive. Amen. And he's watching you and I. And he's listening to the energy that we're singing these songs with. He's watching us to see how enthusiastic we are in praising and glorifying his name. Just as you want him to be there and hear your prayers when you pray. When you call on his name, you want him to answer you. This is how the Creator is when we're calling on his name, when we're praising and glorifying him. He wants to ensure that we mean it. And we're doing it with meaning, as though we want to do it and we're not being forced to. Hallelujah. Let us do the same with the very same energy by uttering the words of this prayer on page 4 in our Sidorim. Let us bless the name of Yah and even give thanks to the Creator and show him our gratitude, our appreciation for what he does and what he continues to do and what he is doing for us this very moment, just keeping us alive today. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Blessed art thou, O Yehovah, our power, and blessed be the works of thy hands. And the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day Yah finished his work, which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day and hallowed it, because that in it he rested from all his work, which Yah in creating had made. O thou who art most holy, look upon thy people in mercy. Hear thou us, O power of Abraham. Nurture us, O power of Yitzchak. Save us, we implore thee, O power of Israel. Blot us not, O Yah, though our sins be many. Cast our evil doings into the bottomless pit, to remain forevermore. Our hope is in thee, O Yah, and without thy mercy we have naught. Father of wisdom, thou dispenser of knowledge, cause our hearts to discern and our minds to retain thy law. Bless Israel to know thee as we did in the days of yore. Let the sign of the Shabbat shine brightly from this thy house, and from us thy people Israel. Let our voices mingle with the host of heaven, as we joyfully proclaim, blessed be the name of our power, and blessed be his holy day. Hallelujah. We have taken fruit of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and we rejoice before Yehovah our power. Hallelujah. You see, we are still here in the midst of our holy season, in the midst of the season of tabernacles. And this is why we still have these branches up here. For you who may be here for the first time, or who just may have entered this place, we don't have these branches hanging up because we enter some kind of weird worship. These branches are here because we have a feast that we are in the middle of, a season, a festive season, a feast of tabernacles. And in that season, we were commanded to dwell in booths. And so we have a makeshift booth here that we're dwelling in for 6 days. 7 days we're commanded to dwell in booths. Today we're on the 6th day of the Feast of Tabernacles. Hallelujah. We have one more day to go tomorrow. After that, we will take these branches down. And so this is why we just uttered the words which we utter when we pass around the etrog and the lulav, because we have these branches that we would pass around and say a prayer, a private prayer to yourself, just thanking the Creator for sparing our lives to be here during this season. Hallelujah. This here is considered to be our season of harvest. And this is our fruit harvest, where if we were in our land, we would be gathering fruit around this season, thanking the Creator for blessing us to be able to have our own trees, grow our own fruit, and bless his name during this festive season. And so it is something, a season to just thank the Creator and consider what the Most High has blessed us with. Amen. Let us sing the Shema at this time. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Shema Israel, Hallelujah. This is the day which Yehovah has made, and we will be glad and rejoice thereon. Hallelujah. Unto thee do I lift up mine eyes, O thou that art enthroned in the heavens. Ascribe unto Yah the glory due unto his name. Worship Yehovah in the beauty of holiness. In thee, O Yah, do I take refuge. Let me never be ashamed. Thou hast given us joy in the place of sorrow. Thy truth is like a heady wine. Shout for joy, O ye children of Israel. Proclaim the name of our King, to whom the sun doth shine and the winds sing. Yahweh is our sun and shield. Who then could master us? To thee, power of our fathers, do we give honor and glory. For who is Yah besides thee? Be thou our judge, O Yah, against the ungodly nations. Save us, O our King, we beseech thee. Then shall we come clapping, singing, jumping, shouting, praising, crying, and extolling thy holy name. For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light do we see light. Thy loving kindness, Yah, is in the heavens. Thy faithfulness reacheth unto the skies. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore in peace. For Yahweh loveth justice and forsaketh not his holy ones. Hallelujah. Shema. Before we sing the Shema, we're going to say these words again. We have taken fruit of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and we rejoice before Yahweh our power. Shema Israel. Where is the power of Abraham, who didst call our father from Chaldea? Art thou not he, O power of Israel? Where is the power of Yitzhak, who did bless him with the righteous Rivka? Thou art one and the same. Who knoweth him who changed Yaakov's name? Thou, O Yah, will forever remain. Though Joseph sojourned in Egypt, yet did all men show him favor. Thy hand, O Yah, was with him. Thou didst help Moshe and Israel against Pharaoh, who stood up the mighty Red Sea. Manna dropped from heaven to sustain thy people in the wilderness. They fashioned a calf to bow down to, yet to Israel didst thou show mercy. We give thanks unto thee, O Yah, and we will tell of thy wondrous works. In Yehuda is Yah known, his name is great in Israel. His foundation is in the holy mountains. We will sing of the mercies of Yah forever. Unto all generations will we make them to be known. Stay thou, O Yah, in the midst of us. Cause righteousness once more to be sown. So shall the heavens praise thy wonders, Yah, thy faithfulness in the holy assembly. Let Israel awaken the day with their praises. Glory to Yah, now and forevermore. Hallelujah. We have taken fruit of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and we will rejoice before Yahweh our power. Yes, sir. Shema. Shema Israel. Yahweh. O Yah, thou art my power. Earnestly will I seek thee. Hear my voice, merciful Father. Preserve me from my enemies. Send out thine angels to protect me. O thou that hearest prayer. With thy mighty hand, Yah, subdue all those that hate us. Remember us in mercy, Yah, and pardon all our transgressions. Except our power doth bless us, how could we hope to prosper? Unless our Creator protect us, we are as if we had not been. Stay thy hand, O death, for he doth forgive our iniquities. So will I sing praises to his name, that I may perform my vows. The dead praise not Jehovah, nay, nor any that go down into silence. Let us extol our power while we have life. Sing praises to our power while we have any being. Together we will lift up our voices and gratefully sing. Withhold not thy voice from extolling our Maker. Let young and old praise him together. Let the tribes come near and testify. Even the tribes of Israel, the mighty of Jehovah. Say among the nations, Jehovah reigneth. Thy power, Israel, over all the world. For Jehovah will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. Thy testimonies are very sure. Holiness becometh thy house, now, O Yah, and forevermore. Hallelujah. We have taken fruit of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and we will rejoice before Jehovah, our power. This time we're going to pass around the Etrogim and the Lulavim, and we're going to say a prayer. You will say your private prayer, and we're going to sing the joyful Shema. We are still in the season of our Feast of Tabernacles, and we're going to rejoice and give praises and thanks to the Holy One of Israel for his continued mercy, his love, and his kindness. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. O Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu, O Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. O Baruch Shemego, Ma'akuto le'olam, Ma'akuto le'olam, Ma'akuto le'olam. O Baruch Shemego, Ma'akuto le'olam, le'olam va'ed. O Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu, O Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. O Baruch Shemego, Ma'akuto le'olam, Ma'akuto le'olam, Ma'akuto le'olam. O Baruch Shemego, Ma'akuto le'olam, le'olam va'ed. O Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu, O Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu. Those who are still saying their prayers, you can continue saying your prayers. This time, we're going to sing the song HaTorah as we prepare to open the book of the law. May the Creator, Maker of heaven and earth, open each and every one of our minds and give us understanding of His law. Even as we sing the song HaTorah, found on page 6 in our Sidrah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
HaTorah. Where I shall be, return unto thee, for thy word to be fulfilled by thy Lord, by thy in our hearts it is to be. Oh, how can we draw closer to each other in the secret of true righteousness? By thy is the only way we The blessing can be found on page 7 in our Sidorim. Ani po Baruch Hashem Shel Yehovah. Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom. Baruch Yehovah Tamid. Ubaruch haba likra et haTorah. Modeh ani lefeneka Yehovah Eloheinu. Natan lanu et haTorah.
Hallelujah.
This time our sisters can be seated and our brothers are asked to remain standing. Giving thanks to Yah for our Hebrew language again, I said, Ani po Baruch Hashem Shel Yehovah, which means I am here, blessed be the name of Yah. The congregation replied by saying, Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom, blessed be Yehovah every day. Baruch Yehovah Tamid, blessed be Yehovah always. Uvaruch haba likra et haTorah, and blessed be he or she who will read the law. We've been blessed to have brothers and sisters be able to read and understand the Hebrew language. We'll have brothers and sisters coming up before you to read in the language of our forefathers, the Hebrew tongue. I said, Modeh ani lefaneka Yehovah, natan lanu et haTorah. I give thanks unto Yah, who gives us the law. The congregation will continue to reply as we translate in the English. In the English, throughout the Hebrew reading, you will hear them saying, Modim anachnu la, she'ata hu Eloheinu, hu Elohei avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, le'olam wa'ed. We give thanks that you are our power, and the power of our fathers, Abraham or Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, forever and ever. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Our Hebrew reading for this Shabbat, WeZot, HaBerakhah, will be taken from the book of Deuteronomy, beginning in the 33rd chapter and the 21st verse, reading through the 34th chapter and the 12th verse. Once again, our Hebrew reading for this Shabbat WeZot HaBerakhah, which means this is the blessing or the bracha, will be taken from the book of Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter and the 21st verse, reading through the 34th chapter and the 12th verse. And it reads on this wise in Hebrew. Wayar reshit lo kisham kel kwak mekokwek safun. Wayete rashe am sit kwak Yehovah asa. Umishpatayu im Yisrael. Uldan amar. Dan gur aryeh. Yezanek min habashan. Naftali amar. Naftali sevar rason. Umale birkat Yehovah Yam. Wedaron yerasha.
Hallelujah.
And he chose a first part for himself, and there a portion for a ruler was reserved. And there came the heads of the people. He executed the righteousness of Yehovah and his ordinances with Yisrael. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp that leapeth forth from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor, and full with the blessings of Yah. Possess thou the sea and the south.
Hallelujah. Modim anachnu lak she'ata hu Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu Abraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov le'olam ha'ed Nikra et Mori Tavel ben Levi ben Yisrael.
Anipo Baruch Hashem Shel Yehovah.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom. Baruch Yahovah Tamid. Ubaruch haba Nikra et HaTorah.
Mode Ani Lefeneka Yehovah Elohim Natan Lanu et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
Asher Amar. Baruch Mibanim Asher. Yehi Retsui Eka. Wetovel Bashemen Raglo. Barzel Unkoshet Min Aleka. Ukiabeka Dav Eka. Enka Elia Shirum. Rokev Shemayim Ba Ezraka. Uv Ga'awato Shekha
Hallelujah.
And of Asher he said, Blessed be Asher above sons. Let him be the favored of his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Iron and brass shall be thy bars, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. There is none like unto Elohim, O Yeshurun, who rideth upon the heavens as thy help, and in his excellency on the sky.
Hallelujah. Modim anachnu lak she'ata hu Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu Abraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov le'olam ha'ed Nikra et Akayil ben Binyamin ben Yisrael. Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom. Baruch Yahovah Tamid. Ubaruch haba Nikra et HaTorah.
Mode Ani Lefoneka Yehovah Eloheinu Natan Lanu et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
Me ona Elohei Goidein Umitakat Zero Ot Olam Vaigadesh Ipanika Oyev Vayumer Hashmer Vayishkon Israel Betak Badad In Yaakov El Eretz Dagan Watilosh Af Shama Ya'arfu Tau Ashreka Israel Mi Kamoka
Amen.
Am Nosha Ba Yehovah Magen Etzreka Wa Asher Kerev Ga Awateka Vayika Kashu Oeveka Lak Weata Al Bamo Temo Tibrok.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
The eternal power is a dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he thrust out the enemy from before thee, and said, Destroy. And Israel dwelleth in safety. The fountain of Yaakov alone, in a land of corn and wine. Yea, his heavens drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee? A people saved by Jehovah, the shield of thy help, and that is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall dwindle away before thee,
Amen.
and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
Hallelujah. Modim anachnu lak she'ata hu Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu Abraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov le'olam ha'ed Nikra et Aktael ben Levi ben Yisrael.
Anipo Baruch Hashem Shel Yehovah.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom. Baruch Yahovah Tamid. Ubaruch haba Nikra et HaTorah.
Mode Ani Lefeneka Yehovah Eloheinu Natan Lanu et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
Vaya'al Moshe Me'arvot Moab El Har Navo Rosh HaPisga Asher Al Panei Jericho Yar Ehu Yehovah et Ko Haaretz et Hagil Ad Dan. Et Ko Naphtali, et Eretz Ephraim, Menashe, et Ko Eretz Yehuda Ad Hayam Ha'akaron, et Hanegev, et Hakikar, Bik at Yeriko, Ir Hat Marim Ad Zon, Ad Zoar.
Hallelujah.
And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the Mount Nebo to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. And Jehovah showed him all the land, even Gilead as far as Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Yehudah, as far as the Hinder Sea, and the south, and the plain, even the valley of Jericho, the city of palms, as far as Zoar.
Hallelujah. Modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov le'olam va'ed. Nikra et Akot Mashiach eshet Ak Yekariel ben Yehuda ben Yisrael. Baruch Yahuwah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahuwah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
Vayomer Yehovah Elam, Zot Eretz Asher, Nosh, Nish, Bati, LaAbraham, Yitzchak, uYaakov, Lemor, Lazar Aka, Et Mena, Itika, Be'eneka, Veshama Lo, Ta'avor. Wayamat, Sham, Moshe, Eved, Yehovah, Be'eretz Moab, Al-Pi, Yehovah. Vayivor Oto, Bagai, Be'eretz Moab, Mul, Beit, Peor, Velo, Dada, Ish et Kuvurato, Ad, Hayom, Hazek.
Hallelujah.
And Jehovah said unto him, this is the land which I swore to Abraham, unto Isaac and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither. So Moses, the servant of Jehovah, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of Jehovah. And he was buried in the valley in the land of Moab over against Beit Peor. And no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day.
Hallelujah. Modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov le'olam va'ed. Mikra et Akot Shekira bat Lewi bat Yisrael. Baruch Yahuwah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahuwah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
Moshe ben Moab, ve'esrim shana, bemoto lo kahata, Eino, Velo, Nas, Leko. Vayivku b'nei Yisrael et Moshe ba'arvot Moab shaloshim yom vayikmu yemei veki evel Moshe. Yehoshua ben Yehoshua ben Nun me Malay, Ruach, Chachma.
That's right.
Ki samach Moshe et Yadav alav Vayish me'u elav v'nei Yisrael ויעשו כאשר ציווה יהוה את משה.
Hallelujah.
And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping in the morning for Moses were ended. And Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom. For Moses had laid his hands upon him. And the children of Israel hearkened unto him and did as Jehovah commanded Moses.
Hallelujah. Modim anaknu lak she'ata hu Eloheinu Elohei avoteinu Abraham Yitzchak veYaakov le'olam va'ed likra et Maftirah al Shabbat WeZot HaBerakhah akot Leah eshet misharet Yaakov ben Yisrael. Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yehovah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
Welcome, Navin, of Israel, and Moshe, Asher, Sidrah, Yehovah, Cohane, Leah, Ha'oto, Maftirah, Asher, Shelah, Yehovah, Leah, and that it's Mitzrayim, Cohane, HaBerakhah, Cohane, Cohane, Hayal, Ahazakah, Cohane, Hamorah, Agadol, Asher, Asa, Moshe, Ve'emer, Kol Israel.
Hallelujah.
And there had not risen a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom Jehovah knew face to face, and all the signs and the wonders which Jehovah sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land, in all the mighty hand and in all the great terror which Moses wrought in the sight of all Israel.
Hallelujah. Modim anaknu lak she'ata hu Eloheinu Elohei avoteinu Abraham Yitzchak veYaakov le'olam va'ed.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And then you be seated.
It's all right. It's all right.
I can't see the clock. So, for everybody's last today, I'm glad to be here.
Hallelujah.
I'm a little bit under the weather, so I apologize, but I'm thankful to finally be able to do a portion.
Hallelujah.
So, today's Maftirah portion comes right after where we just finished reading. So Joshua, the full chapter of Joshua, chapter 1. So we know that just recently Moshe passed away. And so the Israelites have just finished mourning for 30 days for their leader. And Moshe was, it says he was like no other prophet or any other person that had come. He had a close relationship with the Most High. And so after leading these Israelites wandering through the desert for 40 years, now it's time for Joshua to take control and to take and lead these people into the promised land that they had been promised for all of those years. And so you can imagine if you have been sitting under someone's leadership for so long, that's a big shoes that you have to fill. So Yehoshua, he had a role that he had to play. Right. And I think that us in here, we also have a role to play because we too can be leaders. We've been given all of the knowledge and the rules and the instructions, and it's up to us to take that knowledge that we've been given and to pass that along to our children and to also lead the nations as well. So whether we're leading them into the truth, of course, of the knowledge of the Most High, or just even in our daily lives when we're at school or when we're at work, being leaders in that way, trying to, doing different things that we could show that we could be an example to others. Like I said, Moshe had spent the last years of his life preparing the Israelites to enter that promised land. And so now it's time for them to accept their inheritance. And so we will read 1 through 4, verses 1 through 4.
Now, it came to pass after the death of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, that Yahweh spoke unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, to you have I given it, as I spoke unto Moses, from the wilderness, and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea, toward the going down of the sun shall be your border.
So Moshe, before he passed, he had the ability, he had the opportunity to see everything that Yehoshua is being shown right now. He's been told, Yehoshua is saying, okay, look, this is God saying to Moshe, this is what you're going to get. Right. This is what you're about to go into. Right. Moshe already got to see that, but unfortunately, he didn't get to make it into the promised land. Mm-hmm. And so he's giving, again, and I love the way that they use a lot of verbs. I love grammar. And so there's a lot of action words. Arise, be strong, courageous, right. Action. He's telling Yehoshua to take action. And he's also telling us as well to take action. That's right. Don't just sit down and just be like, okay, well, whatever. You arise, get up, and take what has been promised to you. That's right. So he's making sure first that the Israelites were getting prepared to finish this long journey. They've had all of this time when they're wandering, and pretty much anything they needed was taken care of. They didn't have to worry about planting food. They didn't have to worry about going and finding water. The Most High gave them everything that they needed. And the Most High is giving us everything that we need as well, as long as we are being obedient. And it's actually in the end of the portion, it'll say something similar to that. So I can just imagine, Yehoshua sitting on the top of that mountain. He's looking out. He's like, wow, my gosh, I can't believe it. It's finally here. And he could probably was really excited because he's like, this finally is coming to pass. So we're going to do 5 and 6, please.
It shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage, for thou shalt cause this people to inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them.
Okay. So we read this every week. I'm sure we all know it by heart by now, but hearing it is different than actually listening and applying it, because he's giving us the strength that we need. The reason why we read it is because it's helping us remember that that's the strength that we can get through the next day. Right. He says, I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Right. And so on your updated translation, I looked at the JPS translation, it says, I will not release you. Right. So that means that he's not going to let you go to the wayside. One of the things that I always tell my children, I said, do you have a test today? They're like, yeah, I got a test. Are you okay with it? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to do it. Remember that verse. Yah will not fail you. If you are doing what is right, if you studied and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you come into that test and you have confidence and say, you know what? I got this. Most High's got me. He's going to help me remember those things that I need. And so the Most High is reiterating that he's not going to let you down. All of those years in the wilderness. And you know, it's interesting that you have the whole book of the whole Torah, right? First 5 books, as they were, that are basically showing how the Israelites messed up over and over again. But not once did y'all say, you know what, I'm done with you guys. You're just off to yourself. Right. The Most High continues to watch over us, and he keeps us. And he doesn't leave us out to just wander in the wilderness. So I think also he's giving this extra reminder because throughout those 40 years he did see all those people murmuring and complaining. And so he's just reminding them like, hey, I didn't fail you then, I'm not going to fail you now. Then we have those words strong and courageous. So I wanted to ask Malkia, what do you think being strong means? For anybody, what do you think being strong means? Fearless. Being fearless. Confidence. Okay. So strength, there's different types of strength. You can have physical strength, like the brothers picking up all of these chairs and moving out everything. You can also have mental strength. Yes. So there's different types of strength that you can have. So me, I know I can't come up here and pick all of these things up like that. But I have the mental strength to deal with crazy people at my job on a daily basis. So there's a lot of things. I mean, just yesterday I was tested sorely. I told that lady what you not gonna do. And I had to stop and remind myself, I'm at work and I have to be professional. So that took a lot of mental strength to not get fired. So I'm saying that the Most High is reminding us every day to have that type of strength. Meaning that Yah's giving us all the tools that we need to have that strength. And then also to be courageous. And so when I look at the word courage, it says mental or moral strength to venture. Venture means to go out, to persevere. That means to continue, to withstand danger, fear, or difficulties. And so even when you look at the definition of courage, it mentions the word strength. So both of those words are related. So when it comes to doing what is right, when you're at school or when you're at work and you're faced with a difficult decision, these are things that you can remember. Remember that Yah's going to give you the strength and the courage to do what is right, even when things are easy. It's easy to do the opposite. Right. Very easy to do the opposite. So if you, in the face of all those obstacles where everybody is, especially now in the silly season where they're saying we're going to watch the It movie and we're going to watch, the Day of the Dead, whatever they're talking about. It's upon us to say, you know what, no, we're set apart, we're Israelites. We're not going to get caught up in any of that type of stuff. And that takes strength and courage because everybody else is doing quite the exact opposite. All right, so if you could read verse 7, please.
Only be strong and very courageous to observe, to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest have good success whithersoever thou goest.
Okay, so here we go. We have this verse. I like this, probably one of the most. Okay, so you have 2 big action words: observe and to do. So what does it mean to observe? Basically, it means that you're watching. And you're not just like looking and saying like that. You're watching and you're getting information from that. You're trying to understand that entire situation so there are not going to be any surprises. And we have to do this as adults as well, even when you're observing your children, when you're observing things that are going on around you. But the best part of observing is the knowledge that you can gain if you're paying attention to the things that have importance or value. Then it says the word do. And that means to take action upon whatever you've learned. So you've sat there and you've observed, you've meditated, you've contemplated, all these different words that we've kind of talked about. But now you have to take action. And so you have to do this according to the entire Torah, to the entire law that Moshe gave them. So you can't pick or choose according to what fits you on this day or the next day. If you want that full blessing, you got to put your full heart and soul into the observation and then take action upon that. The next part, it says, do not turn from the right or to the left. Basically, to me, that meant don't get distracted. If you know, for example, Naomi, she says she wants to be an oncologist. She wants to help people when she grows up to learn and research about cancer. So if you know that you have a goal of being an oncologist, or you have a goal of being an electrician, whatever it is that you choose, don't let anyone or anything get in the way for you fulfilling your goal. It's so easy to get pulled into things that we're not supposed to get into. We have our phones, TV, music, your social media, all of this stuff. Too much entertainment that's taking our focus and our minds off of what's most important, which is number one, following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and doing what is right. Action, doing, observing, and then taking action upon that. So we can't just play Shabbat once a week and then go out the next day as soon as the sun sets and going out and rolling and jumping and doing all kinds of stuff that we're not supposed to do it. To me, the Most High basically gives you your own personal Google Maps. Now, before we had our phones to direct us, we had to go to MapQuest and print out these directions. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all a little story. So I used to have to threaten to repo people's cars. Like to go out and like knock on the doors and be like, hey, you pay me, or I'm gonna call the repo man, I'm gonna get your car, right? So we have like these directions, and I have to map my route all over Charlotte. If I missed one turn, I was lost. You don't know how Charlotte is. You know how Charlotte is. So I would have to call the office and I'd be like, look, I don't know where I am, but can you try to help me get away? And then help me find out where I am?
Right.
Now we have Google Maps. But sometimes you be like, where are you taking me all around the city? So you try to go off and here you go. Please make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. And you're like, what is going on here? The Most High gave us, right here in our Torah, He gave us everything that we need. That's our Google Maps, that's our Siri, that's our Waze. Everything that we need is right there. You have a choice. You can choose to follow those directions and you'll get there much quicker. Or you can choose to take an alternate route, make a U-turn, go back all the way around Charlotte just to get back to your destination. And it's a choice that you have to make. And so Torah, we have the Torah to show us exactly what happens if we choose to go off course. You've got plenty of examples of what happens, and it's not good.
Great example.
Verse 8 through 9, please.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy ways prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Say that.
Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not affrighted, neither be thou dismayed, for Jehovah thy power is with thee, whithersoever thou goest.
All right, so again, we have another action word, meditate, which also means to contemplate, meaning that you're thinking deeply about what's going on, and you're considering it, how it applies to your life, and what lessons you can take from that. So again, we have meditating, thinking about it, observing, watching everything that's going around it, and then making those actions. And when you do all of those things, the Most High says that you will be prosperous and you will have success. So success to us could be monetary, that's great. Or, getting all A's in your classes, graduating on time, getting a full scholarship so that you don't have to be in debt for 30 years. All of those things. Even a peaceful family filled with love. That is such a blessing. That's success. Is to be able to go to a family reunion and people aren't cussing each other out and you got drama. You don't want to talk to your aunt so-and-so because of something. All of these things are blessings that we have and we are getting because we're following what the Most High is telling us to do. Alright, so 10 and 11.
Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the midst of the camp, and command the people, saying, prepare you victuals, for within 3 days ye shall pass over this Jordan, to go in to possess the land which Jehovah your power giveth you to possess it.
Okay, and so just really quickly with right here, Yeshua is just preparing the nation, telling them to get your stuff packed you've had all this time to prepare, now it's time for action. It's time to get ready to go within those next 3 days. And in these next parts, we're just going to read through the end.
And to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to half of the tribe of Manasseh, spoke Joshua, saying, remember the word which Moses, the servant of Yahweh, commanded you, saying, Yahweh, your power giveth you rest, and will give you this land. Your wives and your little ones, your cattle, shall abide in the land which Moses gave you beyond the Jordan. For ye shall pass over before your brethren armed, all the mighty men of valor, and shall help them until Yahweh have given your brethren rest, as unto you. And they also have possessed the land which Yahweh your power giveth them. Then ye shall return unto the land of your possession, and possess it, which Moses, the servant of Yahweh, gave you beyond the Jordan toward the sun rising.
Okay. So really quickly, now he's just giving, Yehoshua is just reminding that God and the half-tribe of Manasseh and Reuben, that they are the mighty warriors. They are the ones that are going to be on the front lines and that are going to be doing the majority of the fighting, because they have been promised that if they do that, then they can keep their wives and their little ones safe on the other side of the Jordan. And so their obligation was to be those mighty warriors, be that head and the strength, the security force essentially, and making sure that they are helping the rest of the tribes of Israel getting over to that promised land. And so, so once they get to help Israel win, then they get to come back. And so again, it's great in our nation to have those mighty warriors. So you can be that mighty warrior as well. And then we'll read through the end.
And they answered Joshua, saying, all that thou hast commanded us, we will do. And whithersoever thou sendest us, we will go. According as we hearken unto Moses in all things, so will we hearken unto thee. Only Yahweh thy power be with thee, as he was with Moses. Whosoever he be that shall rebel against thy commandment, and shall not hearken to thy words in all that thou commandest him, he shall be put to death. Only be strong and of good courage.
Okay, so the people in the tribes are saying, okay, whatever you tell us to do, we're going to do, and we're going to listen to you. Now, this next verse, according as we hearken to Moshe in all things, I don't know if that's quite right, because I don't really think that they did per se, and they got punished for that. But revisionist history is fine. But I think that it's also good to remember, it says, only that Moshe, the Elohim be with you as he was with Moshe. And I think that the people recognize that Yah was with Yehoshua, and he is with us in all things as well. And so, and again, it ends the end, only be strong and of good courage. And it repeats that multiple times within this whole chapter. And I think that's the main takeaway that we can remember is be strong and be courageous, and don't be afraid to stand up for what is right, whether it's at work or it's at home with your family that are doing differently than you, at school, everywhere. Just have strong and be of good courage. So, tell y'all for your time. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thanking God for the words that she shared with us, the wisdom and the understanding, her explanation of this portion, a tremendous job. Thanking the Creator, maker of heaven and earth, for giving her, as well as so many of us here, knowledge of our history and the ability to go through this history and break it down, even expound upon it. This portion is a really good portion. I'm going to touch more on it during the Sidrah as we go into our Sidrah, but it is what she mentioned is so key for Yehoshua and the role that he's about to take on, leading the nation of Israel into the land of Canaan. That was no easy task. And it was a portion that was given to Moshe as well, who led us through the wilderness. But we are Israel at that point in our history, which she mentioned, we're now about to take on our true and rightful position in the land of Canaan, but it was not going to be an easy task. We had to fight for that land. And it was something that Yehoshua had to be prepared for, and the Creator placed His Spirit upon him because he was the man for that job at that time. Giving all praises and glory to the power of this verse. Let us stand at this time and sing the song HaTorah to Sidrah to close the book of the Lord. The song HaTorah on page 6 in our Sidrah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Whereby shall we return unto thee, for thy word to be fulfilled by thy Lord, by thy Lord, in our hearts is to be. Oh, how can we draw closer to each other in the spirit, bring us to righteousness by thy Lord, by thy Lord, is the only way we must. Let us sing the song Jerusalem on page 2 in our songbooks. By the rivers of Babylon, yeah, we sat down and we cried. When we remember Jerusalem, we worship yonder to die. Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Judah, Jerusalem, 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 land where our fathers served Yahweh. Our chapter was that but the songs who make birds and praise to land. If I forget thee, Jerusalem, may I put on my own right hand. Jerusalem, Raising to the ground. Hallelujah. This time, I would like to call upon our brother Yah to read for us the beautiful 8th proverb. May Yah continue to bless him, his family, and even watch over him as well as each and every one of you throughout this holy season as we prepare time and time again on each and every Shabbat day, on holy days, to glorify Yah's name. Yah prepares things ahead for our safety, for our protection, watching over us and ensuring that we all are able to gather on days such as this to glorify his name. Let us welcome our brother Yah, thanking Yah for bringing him here with us safely as well. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom again.
Shabbat shalom.
Starting off, I want to give praise to the mighty and the great Jehovah, creator of all things. His wisdom is greater than we can comprehend. Doth not wisdom call and understanding put forth her voice? In the top of high places by the way, where the paths meet, she standeth. Besides the gate, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors, she crieth aloud. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O ye thoughtless, understand prudence, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall utter truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing perverse or crooked in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things desirable are not to be compared unto her. Our wisdom dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of devices. The fear of Yah is to hate evil, pride and arrogance, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, power is mine. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me earnestly shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, enduring riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, even than fine gold, and my produce than choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of justice, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and that I may feel thy treasures. The Lord loved me as Sliga. The Lord made me as the beginning of his way, the first of his works of old. I was set up with from everlasting from the beginning, wherever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water, before mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the beginning of the dust of the world. When he established the heavens, I was there. When he set a circle upon the face of the deep, when he made firm the skies above, when the fountains of the deep showed their might, when he gave to the sea his decree, that the waters should not transgress his commandment, when he appointed the foundation of the earth, then I was by him as a nursling, and I was daily all delight, playing always before him, playing in his habitable earth. All my delights are with the sons of men. Now therefore, ye children, hearken unto me, for happy are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Happy is the man that hearkeneth to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whosoever findeth me findeth life, and obtain favor from Yah. But he that misses me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Again, told our Yah for my life and y'all's life and the life of my family and the healing of my family members, that he does heal my family members with his wisdom and strength. And just wisdom to govern yourself and to govern those around you and help those become better. Praise Yah for wisdom. That's all I got.
Hallelujah. Thanks to our brother Yah for his life, for his words. May Yah continue to bless you, bless your family, and bring you here safely as you travel from far to come here, from near and far, those of you who traveled. May the Creator remember each and every one of us, for that is the whole duty of man, to acknowledge, to praise, and glorify the name of Yah. Let us do so by even joining our voices to speak of who the true King of glory is. By reading Psalms 24 as a family, may the Holy One of Israel bless all of your families as we proclaim his name, his greatness. Truly, Yah is deserving of such praise, glory, and honor. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The earth is Jehovah's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the mountain of Jehovah? And who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not taken Yah's name in vain, and hath not sworn deceitfully. He shall receive a blessing from Jehovah, and righteousness from the power of his salvation. Such is the generation of them that seek after him, that seek thy face, even Yaakov, Selah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? Jehovah, strong and mighty, Jehovah, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, yea, lift them up, ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who then is the King of glory? Jehovah of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah. You would do Yah the honor of standing and let us give praise and glory to the King of glory, power of this universe, thanking him for all of our existence throughout this holy season, thanking Yah for our leadership, whom I would like to acknowledge for our Haron, the elders, and each and every one of you, thanking Yah for each and every one of your lives. You may be seated at this time. Our Yeladim, they have classes. You all can leave out at this time and go to your classes and study at your levels. Our portion of study, or our Sidrah or Sidrah for this week, will be taken from the book of Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter, beginning in the first verse. And the name of our portion for today is WeZot HaBerakhah. And that means, and this is the blessing. At this point in our history, Moshe, a powerful prophet who led us through the wilderness for over 40 years, has reached a point where he's about to make transition. And in our portion last week, the Creator made him aware that Israel, we would continue in the same vein as we were throughout the wilderness that he led us through, where we time and time again turned from the Creator and didn't put our trust in him. And that we would at some point when we went over into the land of Canaan, which would later be named after us, the land of Israel, would stray from Yah again. And the Most High told Moshe to write a song as a reminder. And so the name of our portion last week was Ha'azinu. And at the end of that portion, it mentioned us being just beyond the Jordan and about to enter the land. And Moshe at this time, before making transition, he's going to give each tribe a special blessing as our father Yaakov did before he made transition. And this portion this week would actually give anyone who hasn't chosen a tribe yet an opportunity to just consider some of those characteristics or personality traits of each tribe. And you may consider your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, and different personality traits that continue throughout your genealogy or your lineage. And this may allow you to consider these tribes and determine what tribe you may be from. But this also just shows Moshe and the type of man he was. The fact that this man is about to pass away, knowing that Yah is about to take his life, and yet still he loves the people. Yet still knowing what the Creator told him, that they're going to continue doing the same things that they've been doing. He still has a love for the people where he wanted to place a special blessing on them. He's still concerned for them. He's still considerate of each tribe and what would happen to them. And there are things that the Most High told him, I believe, beyond just knowing that they're not going to make it over to Jordan. Right. He knew little details about different tribes, what would happen to different tribes. And so, with that understanding, he said a prayer, knowing things and knowing what challenges each tribe would be faced with in the future. And in his blessing, I believe he included some of those things, considering them and praying that the Creator would remember these tribes and watch over them throughout this journey ahead in their lives. Just as any father or grandfather would bless his sons and daughters before he or she would make transition, a grandmother as well. This is what Moshe is doing. And with the Spirit of Yah on him and the understanding that the Creator had given him, he's moved to bless the tribes and to bless Israel. That's right. Our portion begins in Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter, in the first verse, and it reads,
This is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of Elohim, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, Jehovah came from Sinai and rose from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came from the myriads holy. And his right hand was a fiery law unto them.
And if you notice how he started this blessing, he said he spoke about Mount Sinai, because Mount Sinai is where the Creator first introduced himself to us. And it mentioned he gave us a fiery law. This is where the Creator gave us the introduction to the law, the 10 Commandments. And so in his blessing, he's starting from the beginning. How the power who's responsible for our very existence should be acknowledged first. That's right. And going forward now, this very power would be the one that would place this blessing on each tribes. And understanding the thought of the law that was given to us being the very thing that would help us and allow us to receive a blessing if we took this law in, and if each tribe followed this very law that was the beginning of our mission or our journey. This is how we would journey on in life, with this law and with the Creator as our guide moving forward. You have to understand and see how this man prayed, starting with the Creator and the law, because Yehoshua was told in the Maftirah to meditate in this same very law day and night. That's right. And we were told time and time again that this law is going to be our safeguard. As our Maftirah mentioned, as she spoke of the GPS analogy that she gave, and the whole thought of following this GPS system, making sure that you don't turn or stray or go to the right or to the left. If you did, you'd find yourself having to start all over again because you went off course. This is the very same thought here. And we have to realize that there was a reason why we were given that introduction to the law by Yah introducing himself to us on Mount Sinai before our journey even began. The Creator wanted us to understand and know who was taking us through this journey. Right. That's right. Because all we were seeing was Moshe along the way. Moses was the one that parted the Red Sea. We were hearing about this power, Yah, but we never seen him. And today, and many times in our lives, we're faced with the very same dilemma. The power that we serve, we cannot see. But we have to trust in him. We have to believe and know that he exists. And how are we able to do this without seeing any miraculous things take place in our lives as our forefathers did there? We'll see and realize and find out as we continue. And even when the book of Joshua begins, that the Creator had to do something special for the people to start trusting that he was with Joshua as he was with Moshe. Because we would believe, well, we're not seeing Yah. We can't see him anywhere. We need to see you do some miraculous things like Moshe did. Come on, part of Red Sea or something, Yehoshua. You have the same power as Moses. We need to know that Yah is with you. So what the Creator did in the beginning of their journey, he told Yehoshua, I need to show the people that I'm with you. He said, when you all cross the Jordan, soon as the priests step into the Jordan, I'm going to have the Jordan part and the waters are going to rise up. So that they could see something miraculous, something spectacular take place. Wow. Oh, God's with Joshua. He glowing like Moshe glowed when Moshe came down from the mountain. And that would allow the people to put trust in Joshua, knowing that Yah was there with him. Where do we find our trust today? How do we ourselves find a way deep inside of ourselves to know and believe and trust that Yah is there with us? And this is what's going to allow us to be the ones that make that remnant, if we can find that trust without seeing anything miraculous or spectacular take place around us. Just the Creator knowing that we were able to believe and trust in him without these things taking place would ensure, Yah, that we're for real today. Because our forefathers, having all of this, still didn't trust in the Creator and still strayed from Yah. And here Moshe begins his blessing, speaking of the greatness of the Creator and how the law was introduced to us and given to us. And it continues in the 3rd verse. And
Yea, he loved the peoples, all his holy ones. They are in thy hand, and they sit down at thy feet, receiving thy words. Moses commanded us a law, an inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And there was a king in Yeshurun when the heads of the people were gathered. All the tribes of Israel together.
And so he continues speaking about this law and saying, guess who gave me this law? This was the Creator all along. Moshe, even in his in his place, finding himself about to make transition, is still reminding Israel that I was just a vessel or a tool or an instrument used. This law came from Yah. Moses commanded us a law and inheritance of the congregation of Yaakov, and there was a king in Yeshurun when the heads of the people were gathered all the tribes of Israel together. He's speaking of Israel. We were the ones that were going to be the nation, that king, that nation that led all other nations to the Creator maker of heaven and earth. You notice that's a common K for the king, not a capital. That's not the Creator that he's speaking of there. And he has to lift us up because at this time, Israel is down, you know. We know Moshe is about to make transition. The people knew. So a lot of sad faces was looking around. And they saw Moshe getting ready to leave. And they all knew what was about to happen. And you better believe there was some of them, the word got around. Yeah, you know why Moses can't make it, right? It was some of us. We were the ones who drove him to this point. But Moses there, he's still praying for the people and displaying his love and consideration. And he begins with Reuben in his blessing.
Let Reuben live and not die, and that his men become few.
You notice how Moshe prayed for Reuben, because when Yaakov prayed for Reuben, he prayed with the thought of the fact that Reuben had went into his chambers and slept with his wife. And so he placed a blessing on Reuben, but yet it sounded sort of like a curse if you really read into it, because he was upset about Reuben's actions. And here Moshe gives a short blessing to Reuben, praying to the Creator that Reuben lives and not die. Because one, the tribe of Reuben lived in an area that we know as Transjordania, which was exposed to common attacks from our enemies. He was sort of close to the border, an area where our enemy, it was prone to attacks from the enemies coming in. And Reuben, the tribe of Reuben, if you can recall, with the first census that was given, there was 46,000 men. But the second census for the Reubenites in Numbers, in Genesis, in Numbers 121, the second census was 43,730 men. We lost at least about 2,200 and something men from the Reubenites. The second census, like I was given in Numbers 26:7. And Moshe realized it. He recognized that we were losing numbers from the tribe of Reuben. And that, in the blessing that Yaakov gave, Reuben, because of his actions, he brought that on himself and on his tribe. We have to realize that our actions can affect our children. It can determine the blessing that's placed upon you, your children, your children's children. And Reuben's actions brought about a certain curse, or if you might want to say a blessing, on himself and even the tribe of Reuben. He lost his position as the firstborn, his blessing as the firstborn. That was one. Also, you may consider or believe that he would be the one that would be the king or lead Israel, be our leader as the firstborn. He lost that blessing as well. And here he is now losing major numbers. So Moshe, considering this, was in his prayer, just said, Yah, please remember Reuben, and don't forget the tribe of Reuben. We're just losing them. We're losing so many of them. Please don't let this tribe become extinct. In his prayer, that's what he thought of and prayed for their numbers, that we don't lose them.
And this for Yehuda. And he said, hear, Yehovah, the voice of Yehuda, and bring him unto his people. His hand shall contend for him, and thou shalt be a help against his adversary.
Now, the tribe of Shimon was not mentioned here. And we have to understand that, one, in the blessing that Shimon received in the book of Genesis, his anger, he and Lewi's anger was cursed by the Creator because of what they did to Shechem, Hamor, and the people of that land. Here it is believed that Shimon was not mentioned because of the act with the Baal of Peor incident, because the Shimonites were the ones who led. And Moshe, at this time, is believed that when he just thought of them, that's all he could consider. Before saying a wrong thing, you know how sometimes you say, let me just not say anything. Before I put a curse on them when I think about what happened with them and how they led us in that incident. That's wisdom. And so he left them out here. And to just go back to the tribe of Reuben, something that I did not mention, in the blessing that was mentioned in the book of Genesis, it said that Reuben was unstable as water, and it mentioned, he said, have not thou the excellency, because his privileges were forfeited. He forfeited his privileges because of his action. And in Hebrew, it used the word for unstable, it used the word pakaz. That word means reckless. He was reckless in his actions. And Moshe, understanding all of this behind the tribe of Reuben, prayed on their behalf. In Shimon's case, didn't even mention Shimon in this blessing here. As I said, it is believed, it's not mentioned, but it is believed by many of our leadership that he wasn't mentioned because of his act with the Baal of Peor incident. Then it speaks of Yehuda and the fact that it said, hear the voice of Yehudah, and bring him unto his people. His hand shall contend for him, and thou shalt be a help against his adversaries. It mentioned here in the prayers of Yehudah when he go forth into battle, because Yehudah, at this time, Moshe knew things that we didn't know. And in his blessing, he knew that Yehudah would be the one that would lead us into battle against these Canaanites. You have to see the difference between his blessing and Yaakov's blessing. Moshe, because Yah showed him different things in the future and what would happen, he realized that, wow, this man has a huge task ahead of him. He's about to lead Israel against these Canaanites. And his courage is what's going to determine the courage of the others that are following. Because if you have a leader who's leading the people in battle and he gets scared and turn and run, everybody else is running behind him. And Moshe, he understood and realized that Yehudah also had that warrior-like leadership character about him. And he knew, knowing that Yehudah would lead us in battle, he said to himself, and in his prayer, he prayed that the Creator hear Yehudah's voice in prayer. In the book of Joshua, Caleb from the tribe of Yehudah was going to be the one that led us against those Anakim. We thought that David and them fought some giants when they fought against those Philistines. These were the true giants here that they had to face against the Canaanites. And many of these battles that Yehoshua and these men fought weren't mentioned in detail like David's battles, but they had to fight those 9 and 10 footers right here. Because this is when we first came up against the true giants when we went into the land of Canaan. And Yehudah was the one who led us against these men. And remember, when we first faced them, we believed that these giants couldn't be defeated. But when we saw how Yehudah started chopping them down, taking them down from the bottom, slice, dice, they feet, they drop, then you take the rest of them out. Everybody, oh, so that's the way we defeat them. Somebody had to beat a giant before you knew how to fight a giant. And everybody wasn't brave enough to go up against one first. So it took the tribe of Judah to be the first ones to go up against them. And in his blessing, in Yaakov's blessing in Genesis 49:8, he says, thee shall thy brother praise. Thy hand shall be on the neck of thine enemies. This is what Jacob said in his blessing, because he also knew, based on Yehudah's ruach at that time, that this is going to be a warrior here. He's going to be a leader. And we find out later on in our history that the kings come from the tribe of Judah as well.
And of Levi he said, thy Tumim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massa, with whom thou didst stride at the waters of Meribah, who said of his father, of his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew he his own children, for they have observed thy word, and keep thy covenant.
He began with blessing Lewi and mentioned thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy holy ones, because the Urim and the Thummim were the stones on the breastplate of the high priest. And the fact that Lewi chose the Creator before his own family. In Yaakov's blessing, he cursed Lewi and Shimon's anger. Here, Moshe saw a different Lewi throughout his experience with the tribe of Levi in the wilderness. And so in his blessing, he realized that this tribe found themselves. They found who they truly are, the tribe of Levi. These are the men, these Levites that would represent the Creator. And he mentioned here, he said, who said of his father and of his mother, I have not seen him. When that whole incident with the golden calf took place, and Moshe said, who's on Yah's side? And those Levites came, they couldn't look at their appearance and say, well, that's my mother and father. They weren't there. I didn't see them. Levi didn't even care. That's why it said, I have not seen them, because he didn't care who it was. If you were family and he knew that you were over there involved in that worship, he slew you as well. Who said even of his own children, nor knew he his own children. He didn't even care if it was his own children, because his zeal for the Creator was beyond family or blood. For him, Yah is thicker than blood. Like we say blood is thicker than water, for him the Creator was thicker than blood. The Most High was more important than relatives. And that's why he was given this position, because the Creator said, wow, I realize someone, a tribe, there is a group in here who truly does love me and is prepared to put me before themselves and before their own family. And it continues at 11.
They shall teach Jacob thine ordinances, and Yisrael thy law. They shall put incense before thee, and whole burnt offering upon thine altar. Bless Jehovah his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise up against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again.
Because this man, this tribe would be the ones that are praying on behalf of the nation. Bless Yahweh his substance, accept the work of his hands. The tribe of Leah, or those priests who stand before the people, when they pray, if the Creator is not answering their prayers, then the nation's not going to receive a blessing. And so Moshe in his wisdom is praying on behalf of Leah and asking Yah to hear his prayers, accept his petition on behalf of the people. And anyone who rise up against him, may you deal with them personally, O Yah, because this nation, this tribe, this man, these individuals would stand to represent you before the people.
Of Benjamin he said, the beloved of Yahweh shall dwell in safety by him. He covereth him all the day, and he dwelleth between his shoulders.
The Most High loved his spirit. And he would wake up, Benjamin that is, it said that he would wake up early, work hard during the day, and at even he would sit down and divide his spoil. And so here it mentions him being a beloved of Yahweh. The Creator loved his spirit. If you read in the book of Genesis 49:27, this is how it speaks of Benjamin, mentioning the fact that he was also the beloved of Yahweh, and he's one who's known to work hard during the day, and just at the evening just sit down and count all my hard work, count my spoils after a long, hard day. This is how this man thought and this tribe lived and carried themselves.
And of Joseph he said, blessed of Yahweh be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew, and for the deep that coucheth beneath, and for the precious things of the fruits of the sun, and for the precious things of the yield of the moons, and for the tops of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the everlasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth, and the fullness thereof, the good will of him that dwell in the bush. Let the blessings come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the crown of the head of him that is prince among his brethren. For his firstling bullock, majesty is his, and his horns are the horns of the wild ox. Yes, with them he shall gore the people, all of them, even the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh.
Because the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh made up Joseph. And here, Joseph, even in the book of Genesis 49, Joseph was given a special blessing the same way as he is here, because of the type of man that he was in the eyes of his father Jacob. And here Moshe gives the tribe, Joseph, the tribes of, that is Ephraim and Manasseh, a special blessing as well. This tribe was blessed tremendously in just about every aspect of life. Bless him with the best, the most precious things of the everlasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth and the fullness thereof. And it also mentions his leadership qualities as well, because you'll remember the tribe of Ephraim ruled in the west when the kingdom was separated. This family of Joseph, these two tribes, were given a special blessing. And Joseph himself, if you can recall back in Egypt, he was a leader or had leadership qualities as well. And so that tradition and that character trait continued even throughout his family as they continued. Many times we look today and you look at a father and you say, wow. You look at a son and you say, wow, he's just like his father. I remember when his father used to do such and such. He does the same thing. He has the same personality. He's so kind and gentle and considerate towards others, just like his father or his grandfather was. These things continue down our genealogy and down our lineage. That's a lot of times when we find ourselves doing the things that are right and pleasing before the Creator. We could bring a blessing not only on ourselves, but on our loved ones and our children as well. Tom Sheep.
And of Zebulun, he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out.
And so Zebulun, it mentioned rejoice in thy going out. Zebulun loved, this was a type of person that was adventurous. He loved to go out on the seas, always on the move, want to go hang out not on earth, but go way out on the river and just be in those boats. Those people who like submarines and could just be on a boat for days and weeks and months and not get seasick. Some people are out there after 2 or 3 days, ready to throw up. They can't take it out there. Not Zebulun. They had that stomach. I remember this brother, a Zebulunite from Guyana. He used to be out there, sometimes for months, over a year out there on the sea. And then he would come in and bring all of these gifts or whatever to the house, just drop off a whole bunch of bags at the bayou. We were real young. And he would drop off these bags and just disappear again. Like, where's the brother? I would be like, anybody told him Todah, whatever? You may not even gotten to say Todah for all the things, these offerings that he brought, but he would come in and bring all his offerings for all the holy days and seasons or whatever that he missed. He made sure he dropped off his stuff, and he's out on the move again. And you call him, you may not be able to reach him, but he's out on the sea again. But that was his way. He loved to be out there, adventurous type of person. We know and we could think of Zebulunites or people with that very same personality trait even today. Come sheep.
And Yissaschar in thy tents, they shall call peoples unto the mountain. There shall they offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck the abundance of the seas and the hidden treasures of the sand.
And they mentioned the season of the sand because Zebulun and Yissaschar were close by one another in where they lived, the portion that they were given in the land. And Yissaschar, he lived like on the shores. He, unlike Zebulun, didn't really care too much to be on the seas. He, unlike Zebulun, he preferred to be at home in the peace and quietness of his tents. The Yissascharites were more like an agricultural people, loved to plan and work hard, work the land. They had a big boned structure, even as it mentions Yissaschar in Genesis 49, it mentions his big bone structure because he was built for this type of work. Some people, they built their bodies, they're not frail, they solid. When they get out there and dig and they work that land, you'd be like, wow, man, if I was out there in that sun, I would have passed out. Brother, still going because he's built for that. And this is what he preferred, his peace of mind, his quietness in his tents. So sometimes you have to have those opposites living next to one another. You can't have two people that's overly hyper next to one another. He come over there, well, calm down. You have a big argument going on because their personality traits clash. So even in distributing the land, the Creator understood and knew these things. Let's put this quiet brother here, put Zebulun over there. So when Zebulun will come from the sea, and hey, Yissaschar, how you doing? He's all excited. He's like, everything's good, brother. Just been out here working the land. You know how I do. And Zebulun start telling him about all his journeys and all the adventures that wow, Yissaschar, man, that was beautiful. And they just enjoying one another's company. Somebody that's hyper and somebody that's mellow. You have that opposites that attract. And having the two of them together, living side by side, worked out well for them. And so even in the blessing, it mentions the two of them. One who's out all the time going out, and Yissaschar who's in his tents relaxing. And they are both blessed together at the same time by Moshe because he understood and knew these things. They living together side by side, harmoniously, can work together. One personality, a different personality, but yet may the Most High bless them in all of their ways.
Amen.
Amen.
And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm. Yea, crown of the head, and he chose a first part for himself. For there a portion of a ruler was reserved, and there came the heads of the people. He executed the righteousness of Yahweh and his ordinances with Yisrael.
It mentions here in verse 20, it says, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad, because Gad had one of the largest territories among the western tribes. And it also mentions the fact that there he came head of his people, because Gad, if you recall, he had the territory of Cohane, king of the Amorites, which was east of the Jordan. The Gadites were the first ones to choose themselves a part, a territory that is. It mentioned in 21, chose a first part for himself, because they were the first ones that decided, you know what, we don't want to go over the Jordan. We like this plot of land right over here. We're going to take this here and we're going to raise our cattle and everything right over here on this side. And they took that step and went to Moshe along with the tribe of Reuben. And they said, listen, we want to choose this territory here because of our cattle or what have you. We want to stay over here. And so in his blessing, Moshe mentioned these things because he thought about these things in his blessing and recalled some of the things that took place with these tribes throughout their journey. And so he's including these thoughts in his blessing as well. He mentioned, chose a first part for himself because they were the first ones to choose their own territory, a place for themselves. In Genesis, Yaakov says in 49:19, he said, a troop shall troop upon him, but he shall troop upon their heel, because Gad was no pushover.
That's right.
You would underestimate him because of his appearance, but if you mess around, you find out something different in a minute. They look simple and easy, but you think you're going to jump them? As soon as you turn your back, there they go, lightning, and he take you out. So they were no pushover either, the tribe of Gad. And so even in Yaakov's blessing being different and Moshe's blessing being another way, you see the comparison with the two, and you're still able to consider this tribe and their character as well.
And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp that leapeth forth from Bashan.
And so with Dan, that was it too. And so with Dan, in Genesis 49:17, it compared the tribe of Dan to a serpent. Here now it compares him to a lion. And if you look at it, both similes sort of describe his unsettled-like behavior. He was adventurous and always on a move. Remember, Shimshon was a Danite. Every time you look up, Shimshon over there, Shimshon across there, Shimshon over there. This tribe of Dan, a lot of our judges came from the tribe of Dan as well. And when you look at a serpent and also a lion, both of them you can't just determine their movements and their whereabouts easily. A snake could be over here, and when you look back, that snake is gone. You're like, where did he go? And you wondering where the snake disappeared to because you afraid. A lion, he's over there sleeping. The next minute you look up, they over there creeping up on some prey. This is how they move. And these Danites, they were sort of like that as well. And the Danites, if you recall Shimshon, he was no joke. He was a judge at that time, always on the move, but when those Philistines got him upset, he went off on them, took his own life in the process. But yet he realized that as on the move as he was, when it was time to go to battle, he was ready to. When you look at most of our tribes, you see that personality trait in most of them. Those who may be calm, those who may be exciting, we still have that Ruach in us. When you push us and we ready to handle our business, we'll handle you in a minute, because it was something that was in our nature given to us by the Creator.
And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor and full with the blessings of Yah, possess thou the sea and the south.
In Genesis it mentions Naphtali in 49:2. It says, he's a man of goodly words. always seems to have a wonderful spirit and something good or positive to say. It says satisfied with favor in Genesis 49:20 and Genesis 49:21, that is. He's filled and always has a desire to help other people. He's filled with goodwill. You know, there's some people, they just good about what they always want to do. When you look at them, they always have something positive to tell you. You come, man, I just lost my job. I'm broke. Hey, brother, everything gonna work out for you, man. Most High gonna bless you with another job, and before you know it, you're gonna be making more money than you made the last time. And you say to yourself, how you see all that? Things are real tight for me right now. But he's one person that when you talk to him, he could lift your ruach.
That's right.
Make you feel a lot better with what you're going through at the time. That was Naphtali. That was the tribe of Naphtali. And they also lived on the shore of the South Sea, where the soil was said to be rich and fruitful. That's why in his blessing, as it goes down, where it mentions, possess thou the sea and the south, because Naphtali was on the south side. And the sea area, if you notice where the waters are next to, anywhere where the waters are next to the shore, you have those waters from the sea coming in. It's going to make that soil fertile. So now, his area there, he had fertile soil. That fruit, those fruit trees, when they grew, they bore some of the best fruits. So during the holy season, when Naphtali's coming with that wonderful spirit, he's coming with all these big fruits. Your orange might be that big, his might be that big. Hey, brother, you did a good job still. Mine are bigger, but hey, blessings to you anyway. Always had a smile on his face, happy, wonderful spirit. And we see how the Creator blessed each tribe with different portions. And even in his blessing, Moshe blessed them and gave them different portions as well.
And of Asher he said, blessed be Asher above sons. Let him be the favorite of his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Iron and brass shall be thy bars, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be.
Here, Asher, the tribe of Asher, in Genesis, when I thought of it, it mentioned that Asher will receive royalties and many blessings. The territory of Asher was known for producing some of the best oil. And so in his blessing, it mentioned that the tribe of Asher, let him be favored among his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil, because of the fact that the tribe, the territory, the soil where Asher lived was known to produce these olive trees. When Asher came in his blessings, you better believe what he's bringing is, guess what? Some olive oil. So every tribe, it shows the hand of the Creator and how different we were as tribes. When we came to the feast, everybody wasn't coming with the same thing. Where Asher lived, his tribe, the soil in that territory may have been rich for olive trees, so he brought some olive oil. Naphtali, now he's bringing good fruit. Another tribe in his area, he had something else that was a different type of tree that was bearing bountifully in his area, so he provided this. Then you had the tribe of, it mentioned the tribe of Gad, and these other tribes who were beyond the Jordan. They had good grazing area for their animals. They came with a lot of livestock. So now when we came to a feast, everybody brought something different, just like we come today. Brother such and such, you known for your macaroni and cheese. Such and such, you make a good fried chicken. Such and such, you make a good sweet potato pie. And so everybody brought their specialty. And when you saw the collective, it was perfect. Not too much or too little of anything. And it mentions the tribe of Asher. It says, iron and brass shall be thy bars. Because the tribe of Asher's territory, Asher lived along the coastal borderline of our land. And he was sort of like the border patrol. And so in Moshe's blessing, he blessed him to have iron and brass shall be thy bars, because you want your borders to be fortified. You don't want the enemy as attack to just walk right through your border patrol, and the next thing you know, women and children are being attacked. Moshe he could only see and know these things because the Most High showed him things ahead of time. The Creator showed him where these tribes would be in the land. And the Most High is going to show him even more when he's about to, just before he makes transition, when he go up to the mountain. So this man in his blessing, he was able to bless these tribes in advance, understanding and knowing history ahead of time, what they would encounter. He was praying on their behalf and asking Yah to remember them, to protect this tribe, being on the coastal borderline, and asking Yah to give him, fortify these borders with this tribe, give him strength. Let the fortitude of these borders be like iron and brass, so that if any enemies attack, it would be impenetrable. Because this is what we needed to protect us from our enemies. And Moshe knew and understood this, and in his blessing, he blessed the tribe of Asher with this.
There is none like unto Elohim, O Yeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven as thy help, and in his excellency on the skies. The eternal power is a dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he thrust out the enemy from before thee, and said, destroy. And Israel dwelleth in safety. The fountain of Jacob alone, in a land of corn and wine. Yea, his heavens drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee? A people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help. And that is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall dwindle away before thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
These closing words in this blessing was a form of motivation for the people also. To know that the power that we had, that they would have with them going forward across the Jordan, was one to be trusted, was one to believe and trust in. And look at what Moshe said. There is none like unto Elohim, O Yeshurun, which is the poetic name for Israel, who rideth upon the heavens to help, and excellency on the skies. Yah is all over. He's with you here in this wilderness, and he'll be with you when you go over into the land of Canaan as well. Nothing's changed. Just because he's absent, Moshe that is, doesn't change anything as it relates to Yah's might, his power, his ability to continue doing what he has been doing for you and for Israel. And so Israel, listening to this, would be motivated to know that, man, Yah is going to be with us. And Moses is giving us his final blessing, confirming and ensuring to us that the Creator has not changed. And he doesn't change even though men go and come.
Teach. No bit.
And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto Mount Nebo to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. And Yahweh showed him all the land, even Gilead as far as Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Yehudah as far as the hinder sea, and the south, and the plain, even the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, as far as so on.
And so Moshe now, he said all his goodbyes to the people. And he had to climb that mountain and go up there to the top of Pisgah. Moses had to be in shape, climbing that mountain, just moving. Anyone who's been to the land, you know, you better be in shape to climb up those mountains, especially Zakwain. So he was no ordinary Zakwain moving with no little crutch, needing help. It didn't mention Yehoshua going with him this time, because the place that the Creator buries him is going to mention no one knows of his sepulcher unto this day. Yehoshua or anyone else, no one knew of it. And so he went up there on his own after saying his goodbye. He climbed up that mountain, and when he got to the top, the Creator started showing him things. The Most High showed him the land. Like we say today, the Creator, you have some sort of 3D vision. Creator zoomed in on different places and showed him things that only the Creator had the ability to do. allowed him to see different parts of the land where each tribe would be living in the future. This alone, you better believe, gave him some sort of comfort and peace of mind, because he knew this was my time, and he realized, wow, at least I'm able to see it. Look at all of this. Oh, Naphtali's going to be living over there. Wow, that's a beautiful thing. And just the thought of understanding and realizing that Israel were going to put Joshua through the same thing that they put him through probably gave him a lot more comfort, knowing that he was going to leave too. He probably was like, you know what, I don't need this stress anyway. I'm happy where I am. I'm comfortable. Yah has shown me a lot. He's shown me enough. It's better that I go knowing the good that's going to happen as opposed to experience the negative and the bad. And the Creator showed him so much and allowed him, Yah in his mercy, to see all of this, even though he wasn't able to go over and experience it himself.
And Jehovah said unto him, This is the land which I swore unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither.
And to see it was a blessing.
So Moses, the servant of Jehovah, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of Jehovah. And he was buried in the valley in the land of Moab, over against Beit Peor. And no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dimmed, nor his natural force abated.
He was strong, just as strong as he was, able to climb up that mountain. He didn't need any contacts or glasses. He was able to see his way up there and make his way up there on his own, because God gave him the strength and the ability to do so even at his age.
And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping in the morning for Moses were ended. And Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. And the children of Israel hearkened unto him and did as Jehovah commanded Moses.
Because before making transition, Moshe said a prayer for him, laid his hands on him. Moshe knew that his task was going to be no easy one dealing with these Israelites. And you'll see when we first went over to Jordan, our first battle against Jericho, he had to deal with a situation. In the next battle, we lost about 30-something men.
36 men.
36.
Exactly.
36 men.
And then Joshua and the elders leaned over fasting and praying to Yah, wondering what was going on. And the Creator had to tell him, get up. Get up. No, now not the time to cry. Something happened.
Go figure out what's going on.
Exactly. Something happened. This is why I did such and such.
Some Judas is at it again.
But Yah, in his mercy, and Moshe knowing this, Moshe laid his hands on him and said a prayer. And Moshe kept telling him, be strong and of good courage. The Creator later on, even in the Haftorah, that's why it was mentioned so many times. Be strong and of good courage. Be strong and of good courage, because dealing with this people, you're going to need strength, and you need to be courageous. Mental strength, all forms of strength, just like our Maftirah mentioned. It didn't just take physical strength, it took mental strength, mental stability, everything you needed to deal with our people. Time sheet.
And there hath not arisen a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom Jehovah knew face to face, in all the signs and the wonders which Jehovah sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land, and in all the mighty hand, and in all the great terror which Moses wrought in the sight of all Israel.
Wow, those were some powerful words ending. I thought about that when it mentioned, and there had not arisen a prophet like unto him in all Israel, whom Jehovah knew face to face. Because for the Creator to speak like this about a man and say there's no other prophet like this man, we've read of many of these prophets. Elijah, who called fire from heaven. The Creator saying that Moses was closer to him than any of them. And the relationship that he had with this man was unlike any other prophet. This is the power that we have, a power who can empower you and I to do things that the ordinary person could never do.
Talk about that now.
And we lost that power. We lost that strength behind us when we strayed from him. The blessing is, the Most High said, I'll always have myself available for you. If you return to me, then I'll return to you. And we're here praying and returning to the Creator, asking that Yah return to us and give us again that strength and the things that we were able to do before when we had him in our lives. May he return to us as we're striving to return to him. If you would, do y'all the honor of standing. Blessed be the name of the power of Israel, King of this universe, our power, Jehovah. May he bless each and every one of you according to the words of this blessing, found in Numbers, the 6th chapter, and the 24th verse. Yevarekhah Yehovah v'yishmerecha. Ya'ir Yehovah panayo aleka v'yikuneka. Yisa Yehovah panayo aleka v'yasem leka. Shalom. Yehovah bless thee and keep thee. Yehovah cause his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yehovah will lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Hallelujah! 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 Yokai! 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 Selah. Tell everyone you can have a hearty appetite. Services will resume at about 5 o'clock.
Turn on. Yeah.